Barcelona's summer window barely made headlines for fireworks, but one quiet note promises to hum louder than most. Bardghji, the Scandinavian wing who lit up pockets of Europe with flashes of brilliance, has arrived at the club for a fee reported at roughly Euros 2 million, a figure so modest it reads like a dare. That sum, deceptively small in headline terms, carries a weightier story. It's the currency of a strategy that prefers razor-sharp scouting and calculated risk to headline signings, and at the centre of that plan sits Deco, the sporting director who didn't stumble on Bardghji by accident but pursued him deliberately until the deal was done. This isn't a tidy a kid bursts onto the scene overnight tale. Bardghji's profile comes with texture. Born abroad but forged in Copenhagen, a winger who has shown he can use pace and close control to create danger, yet who also endured a brutal setback when he tore his ACL in 2024 and was sidelined for nearly a year. That injury turned a routine scouting file into a medical and psychological test. Would his body respond? Would his head? Barcelona, unusually, treated both as part of the recruitment criteria. The club watched not just the numbers on a scouting report, but how he rehabbed, how he came back to training, and whether the spark that once attracted big clubs still flickered. Deco's role reads like the subplot of a quietly intense drama. Sources say he kept lines open, met with agents, and only accelerated when confidence about the player's fitness reached a certain level. That kind of persistence tells you something about the club's approach. When the club can't buy abundance, it tries to buy probability, a player with a real ceiling at a price the books can accept. For Barcelona, the arithmetic is simple and harsh, a minimal outlay for a maximal upside, but only if the medical gamble pays off and the youngster converts potential into minutes and, eventually, goals. On the pitch, the implications are immediate and thorny. Barcelona's attack, already brimming with prodigious talent, suddenly houses a new variant. Bardghji's skill set, direct dribbling, sudden angles, finishing that can surprise a goalkeeper, overlaps with established names, and that creates a tactical conversation that the coach must have. Rotate, develop, or cut short someone's minutes in order to accelerate a prospect's journey. Fans will ask whether this move threatens Lamine Yamal's trajectory or simply forces the team to become richer in options, able to switch tempo and style in search of a tactical edge. Either way, the young winger's integration into pre-season drills and first-team sessions has been watched closely because training ground chemistry often predicts selection more than highlight reels. Beyond the on-field chess, there's a bigger narrative, a club with financial constraints leaning hard into talent identification and surgical recruitment. If this model works, if Bardghji returns to his pre-injury arc and becomes a regular contributor, Barcelona will be applauded for patience and smarts. If he falters, critics will call it short-term thriftiness that costs on-field stability. That tension is the human drama at the heart of modern transfers, money versus judgment, projection versus proof. For the player himself, the arc is personal and urgent. He went from the isolation and doubt of rehab to the bright lights of Camp Nou in months, and that journey reshapes how teammates see him, not as a gamble, but as a promise waiting to be fulfilled. So what should viewers take home? One, Deco's hand here is no accident. This was targeted patient recruitment. 2, the sum involved emphasizes Barcelona's shift towards smart, low-risk investments rather than blockbuster spending. 3, the real question will be answered on match days. Can Bardghji translate potential into impact in a squad where opportunities are precious? This transfer is a miniature test of the club's future strategy, a pocket-sized wager that could enlarge Barca's attacking palette or become a cautionary note about betting on youth under pressure. Either way, the purchase forces us to watch closely, because when a club like Barcelona starts preferring surgical decisions over splashes, every quiet transfer becomes headline-sized in its possible consequences. If you had to place a bet, would you side with the architect who scouted the player relentlessly, or with the skeptics who warned that a serious past injury and a tiny fee rarely equal guaranteed success? The answer will unfold across training sessions, cameo appearances, and the merciless speed of La Liga nights. But one thing is already clear. Deco's Euros 2 million masterstroke has turned a low-profile signing into a litmus test for Barcelona's next era.